Hi, teachers. I just wanted to show you some tips for setting up assignments in Google Classroom to make everything easier for your students. So I'm logged into my Google Classroom right now as a teacher. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Create, and I'm going to make a new assignment. So let's just call this Chapter 1, and I'm going to say open the attached doc and type your answers. What I think is most important when you're setting up assignments in Google Classroom is to always give your students a template. Even if you are just giving them a Google Doc that has the title on it, when you give them a template, they don't have to worry about attaching anything to the assignment. They will open the assignment, they'll click on the copy that you've already created for them, and then they will turn it in when they're done. So the way you can do that, you can click add and you can link to something in your Google Drive if you already have a template set up. If you don't, you can just click create and like I'm going to attach a Google Doc as an example. And so what's going to happen is as soon as this gets attached, it's going to open up. So I'm going to name this assignment and I'm going to call this chapter 1. And then like let's say maybe there's 5 questions. I'm just going to put a line in between each of them. So I'm just setting up a very basic template. So again, the reason I'm doing this is that it's easier for me to do it and attach it to my assignment than to expect every one of my students to do it. Okay, so I've got my template set up, so I'm just going to close that doc. It is attached to my assignment. I think the title will update automatically. I'm going to click on this drop down. I'm going to click make a copy for each student. That's very important. If I click students can edit file, that means every single student in my class is editing one single file. So you might want to use that if you're doing collaboration or collaborative projects with your students. But most of the time, you're probably going to want to make a copy for each student. You would use students can view file if you had a document that you just wanted your students to look at, if it was just information and for reference, and they don't need to edit it. But in this instance, where I'm suggesting that you always make a template for your assignments, I'm going to click make a copy for each student. So now that I have done that, you can go over to the right-hand side of the screen and there's a few other options. So if you have more than one section of the same class, you can always check those different classes that you want to assign the assignment to. If you need to differentiate your assignment and maybe you want to send it to only 5 or 6 kids in your class, you can click on the drop down that says all students and you can select only the students that will receive the assignment, or you can check all students so it goes to everybody. You can set a point value or you can set it to ungraded. If you're just doing something for completion, you might want to set it to 1 point or maybe 5 points. When you set a due date for your students, it's kind of helpful to them because then the assignment shows up on their calendar. And then topics are nice for organizing your assignments. When you assign a topic, the students will see the topics on the left-hand side of the screen when they go to the classwork tab. And when they click on one of those topics, it works as a filter. So it filters out only the assignments and the posts that have been assigned that specific topic. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and click assign so that this will be assigned to my students. And then I'm gonna make a separate follow-up video here in just a second so that you can see what your students see and I'll show you how they can turn it into you.